Quinn actually got his things that were all packed and ready to go and left. Finally. And to be honest with you, it kind of hit me. Well, Falcons fans, we did finally get our wish. Dan Quinn is officially fired as the Atlanta Falcons head coach and is no longer a part of the organization. And Thomas Dimitroff also has been fired as the Atlanta Falcons general manager. He will no longer be a part of the Falcons either. We got our wish, but I'll be honest, it feels good to let out all that frustration like, oh, fire Dan Quinn, fire Dan Quinn, fire him, fire him, fire him. But then once it actually happens, admittedly, it kind of hits you. You're like, oh my gosh, he got fired. Like, that sucks. Sorry. Happy trails. I don't really know what is in the future for Dan Quinn. I don't know if he's going to get another NFL opportunity as like defensive coordinator, or maybe he goes to coach for a college football team. I don't really know. But best of luck to him. He was a good guy, but it just simply wasn't working for the Atlanta Falcons. That part is very clear. He was all nice. He respected his players. He respected the media. He just almost didn't respect his duties, though. Like, he just didn't prepare for the opponent. He didn't discipline them. It's like, do you even, like, know what you're trying to do here? And then the players, like, really fought hard last year to keep Dan Quinn. And they were like, yeah, we kept him for 2020. And then they were like, what now? Like, I don't know, win the Super Bowl? You're all in a win-now mode? Well, that didn't last. Dan Quinn is fired now. And as for Thomas Dimitroff, quite frankly, I don't really know what to make of that. I honestly didn't think he was going to get fired. I thought for sure he was going to stay, but he's fired too. And I don't really know what his future is going to be. I don't know if he's going to be another general manager or whatever. Frankly, I don't know, but best of luck to him. And for more of my thoughts on Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff being fired, make sure to check out my podcast episode tomorrow. The link is in the description below. You can find it on SoundCloud, soon to be on iTunes. Dirty Bird Discussions. New episodes every Wednesday at 12 o'clock p.m. I will go over my full thoughts on Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff being fired on that episode, and then I will go over mailbag questions, so make sure to check that out. I just real quickly wanted to give out some thoughts in this video. So, what does this mean for the Falcons moving forward? And I promise I will get to the game recap versus the Panthers. I'm not going to bitch and moan about a rebuild the whole video like I've been doing, but I will. I'm going to complain about one thing. I promise I'll let it go after that, and we'll go straight to the recap. For an Atlanta Falcons rebuild, I feel this is the only thing you really can do at this point. I mean, Arthur Blank isn't even confident Matt Ryan's going to be here next year. It sounds to me like the Falcons are screaming to the world they're about to rebuild in 2022. Or 2021, I meant. They just fired Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff. They don't have their head coach or general manager. They don't even sound confident their veteran quarterback Matt Ryan will be here next year. Julio Jones can't stay healthy. And you guys kind of forget that when a coach that they really loved playing for gets fired, they're probably going to want to be like, no, I'm out. I want to play for a real team. And I don't know who said this, but apparently a Falcons fan or a Falcons player on Twitter admitted that the brotherhood died ever since the playoff loss against the Eagles in 2017, and that it was all stale and everything. So the culture is already dead. Apparently, according to a former Falcons player. We don't know who that is yet as I record this. I'm assuming it's probably Devontae Freeman because he's butthurt he didn't get his money. But it's just, what can you do at this point? All you can do is rebuild. And I think people have the total wrong idea of a rebuild. A lot of people on Twitter I see think a rebuild is in either one of two things. Either we release all of our players and we grab the best players ever, like Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, because we have not much cap space, but hey, we can do it because we're releasing our players. And this is not Madden, so don't rebuild like that. Or they'll say stuff like, oh, well, if we release our players, we're not going to get draft picks and have a rookie team winning the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? We're not winning the Super Bowl in 2021. It hurts to say it, but we're not. We're not winning the Super Bowl in 2021. Face the fucking facts. We are down to 2 options. Either you blow up the roster and you lose a lot of games next year so you can have high draft picks in the 2022 draft, or you can keep the roster that we have now just with a new head coach and we tweak up the roster a little bit only to get the same exact disappointing results we've been getting in the last few seasons with this roster. It's gonna be so disappointing if you just switch the head coach to someone else. I'm sorry, it will. We are pulling the definition of insanity if you just switch the head coach to someone else and keep the roster. No, do not kid yourself. The roster is dead. It's injury prone. Time to move on. Move on. Please. And you do realize, oh, well, we would be purposely looking at our team lose for the next 2 years. That's how rebuilding works. It's how it works. You don't just release all your players and become good the next year. That's just not how it works, unless you're that freaking lucky. But it's just not how it works. And rebuilding, as crazy as it sounds, it's honestly not even a bad thing, though. A lot of these rebuilding teams are actually kind of having a lot of success. Like, the Carolina Panthers, no, they're not going to have a playoff season this year, but, would you say they're having a promising future? I would say so. They look like they're in the right direction. The Arizona Cardinals in 2018, they were going to have a losing season, but look at them now. They have Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, you name it. They look like they have a promising future. The Miami Dolphins whooped the 49ers last week, and they're only in year 2 of rebuilding. Rebuilding is not a bad thing. You just kind of have to accept that it's going to take a slow process, but a good future is coming. Please just open your mind to it, is all I'm asking. Because you are going to be so disappointed in yourself if you just think we're going to be okay if we keep the roster we have now, but have a different head coach. I just am warning you. I'm warning you. I have beaten the whole Falcons should rebuild thing to the bush. I've said it so many times, even I'm tired of saying it. I'm going to try and slow it down. But please, think about it. You're going to be disappointed if you think that this roster is just A-okay. I'm sorry, it's not. It's just not. I'm sorry. But that's for a different time. On to the game recap versus the Carolina Panthers, starting right now. Before we get started on our Week 5 game recap versus the Carolina Panthers, I should probably tell you how my game recaps work here at Rise Up Rundown. And it's pretty straightforward. First, we go over what went good during the game for the Atlanta Falcons. Then we go over what went bad during the game for the Atlanta Falcons. And then number 3 is other news. So it's really just important news for the Atlanta Falcons outside of what happened during the game. Maybe there's a serious injury for one of our players and we have to talk about that. Or, well, I don't know, Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff have been fired. So we have to talk about that a little bit. It's important news for the Falcons outside of what happened during the game, if that makes any sense. Unless it's an injury. But anyway, let's start with what went good during the game for the Atlanta Falcons. And, not much went well, but we know one thing just broke out, though, during the game, was Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was excellent in this game. Listen, I never said Todd Gurley is going to be the MVP Todd Gurley like he was in 2017 and 18. We'll never see that again, I will admit. But
I did say that I think Todd Gurley's still got a little bit left in him. And he's just proving that this year, to be honest with you. Like, no, he's not some MVP caliber running back, but he's proving that he's still got a little bit left in the tank. And I think people consistently downgrade him. This week in specific, he almost won the game for us. He was really good in this game, and I was happy to see him get going. Another thing that went well was Calvin Ridley. In the beginning, he didn't do anything, and then later on in the game, we finally utilized him a little more. 8 receptions for 136 yards. He's just excellent all year, and in this game, he was just as good, getting, great catches down the sideline, and then just good route running. He's just being Calvin Ridley, and he looked good in this game. And then the last thing that looked good in this game, and I never thought I was going to applaud this guy, but Dirk Cutter's play calling was actually pretty solid for the most part. He didn't try to be overly aggressive, but he didn't try to be boring and predictable either. He didn't do obvious runs on 3rd and short. He didn't, stop doing what was working. I kind of tweeted this on Twitter, that he's been watching our YouTube videos, that if something is working, you should keep doing that instead of switch it up. And it almost seems like he watched it and now he's doing it. Because the run game was working all game, and he was running the ball all game. And it was kind of keeping our offense afloat, to be honest with you. He didn't think, oh, the run game's working, but let's switch it up and pass. He didn't go oh, let's call an overly aggressive pass that definitely won't work. I think he was honestly just being a smart offensive coordinator during the game. I never thought I was going to say that, but he was. All of the plays that didn't work on offense, say what you want, I think it was simply just the players didn't execute. I think Dirk Cutter made a good play call, the players just didn't execute. Like Matt Ryan's interception, for example, good play call, but my goodness, Matt Ryan, what decision was that? But anyway, yeah, I thought Dirk Cutter was pretty good in this game. But now we have to go over what went bad during the game for the Atlanta Falcons, and you are just as tired of talking about what went bad as much as I am. It's really a depressing time to be a Falcons fan, because it just seems like almost everything on the team sucks. Like, the defense sucks, the offense sucks, the coaching stuff sucks. That's why they got fired. It really is annoying to talk about what went bad, but let's just kind of get through it. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. I don't want to admit it, but I can't sugarcoat things and act like everything is all, butterflies and rainbows with this. But Matt Ryan and his receivers, sorry, but they did not look good. Russell Gage has really slowed down. He just doesn't look good like he did in the beginning of the season. In the beginning of the season, he was kind of getting something going. I was like, okay, maybe he can be here for a little while. But now he just sucks. Now he cannot do anything. He's dropping the ball a little bit. He's not really even... He's kind of getting covered pretty easily. Now he just can't do anything. And then apparently we forgot that Hayden Hurst is on the roster. What happened? Why are we not using Hayden Hurst? I thought Matt Ryan utilizes tight ends. I thought he was more athletically gifted than Austin Hooper. Congratulations, Falcons. You're making it seem like it was a mistake to let go of Austin Hooper instead of getting the much more athletic Hayden Hurst. And even when he does get the ball, he doesn't do anything with it. It's just, why are we not utilizing Hayden Hurst? This is really disappointing and a waste of money, if you ask me. If we weren't going to use Hayden Hurst, why bother? It's really annoying. And sorry, my man, I will appreciate everything you've done. I'm looking at a Matt Ryan jersey I have in my closet right now. But Matt Ryan, oh my gosh, he doesn't look good right now. In the beginning of the season, he was doing excellent. I was like, Matt Ryan's been good. He's been good. But now he just looks lost. Like, he's just making these stupid decisions. Like, especially the interception that would have simply tied the game if we just got a touchdown and a PAT. But no, Matt Ryan saw, I don't know what he saw when he threw that to Russell Gage, but he thought that was going to work for some reason. And just throughout the whole game, he's throwing these weird throws. I'm like, what are you doing, Matt Ryan? Oh my gosh, he just looks lost. And then another thing that went bad, well, I don't know, the whole entire defense, the pass rush, forget it. We're not a good pass rush. Forget that. I said in the beginning, watch out, this pass rush was really good in the beginning of the season. And notice there's a trend. I keep saying in the beginning of the season we were good this. In the beginning of the season we were good that. But now we just suck. Honestly, we really suck. Pass rush sucks. Takk McKinley can't stay healthy. I am willing to admit Dante Fowler Jr. was an overrated signing. I never wanted to admit that, but I'll admit it. Dante Fowler is overrated. I believed in you. I was really excited, but all he has proven to me is that he is not a consistent pass rusher, and I feel like that will be his NFL career his whole life. It's just 1 year he's good, 1 year he's bad, move on, find a different pass rusher, because clearly it's not working. And, he wants to play for Dan Quinn. Well, I guess he doesn't, because he didn't want to keep Dan Quinn's job. Grady Jarrett, honestly, wasn't, fantastic in this game. And then the linebackers, Foye Lukin always looks, okay in every game. Deion Jones, I'm willing to admit, Deion Jones also just doesn't look as good as he should be. I feel like he's getting beat up out there sometimes. I guess the whole defense is, but Deion Jones just doesn't look good out there, honestly. It feels like ever since we hyped him up and when he was finally getting that NFL recognition is when he kind of started to suck, to be honest with you. He kind of got his recognition in 2018. The whole league is like, oh, watch out, the Falcons have a good linebacker in Deion Jones. Well, in 2018 he got injured. And then 2019 and 2020, now he just sucks, honestly. He's really not good at all. And then, where do I even begin on the secondary? Keanu Neal definitely needs to go. Ricardo Allen needs to go. AJ Terrell, I would keep, but, if he becomes some sort of bust, simply because of how freaking bad the whole defense as a whole is, I feel bad for AJ Terrell, but that might be the case. He might be a bad corner by default because of how freaking bad our defense is. And then, oh my gosh, it's just, what do you need to say about Isaiah Oliver, honestly? Isaiah Oliver is probably the worst corner I have ever seen play as an Atlanta Falcons fan. How can you defend this dude? I think at this point nobody is defending him. I think at this point everyone realizes, heck, if you had 10 corners on the team, he would be cornerback 12. I know that sounds impossible, but that's possible when you have Isaiah Oliver. I'm just being honest. I would not put him anywhere near cornerback 8. He is so freaking bad. Gosh, he's terrible. Oh my, it's just, he's proven to everyone, no, he sucks. It's not because, he played slot corner his first year, give him another chance. He played outside corner for the first time, give him another chance. It's just no, he sucks. Move on. Why are we keeping him on the field? Granted, you don't really have many other options at corner. The rest of our corners kind of suck anyway, but wow. I don't know if Isaiah Oliver is even going to be signed to another team because he's definitely going to get released. That much is sure. They're definitely going to release Isaiah Oliver after the season, or you want to hope so. But honestly, I don't even know if he's going to go to a team next year. I think everyone knows, yeah, that would be a waste of money if we signed Isaiah Oliver. He just simply sucks. It's just sad to see where this defense has gone. And the sad thing is that we didn't even let up that many points against the Panthers, but it's safe to say we sucked on defense. That's when you know it's pretty bad. We didn't even let up that many points, but we sucked. It's just a sad story for this Falcons team. And then in other news, well, I know I already talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the video, but I'm going to talk about it just a little bit more. Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff have been fired. Now, by the way, in case you're wondering my full thoughts on Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff, again, I will have a full episode, just flat out my honest thoughts on Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff being fired. One full episode, and then I get to the mailbag questions on my new Dirty Bird Discussions podcast this Wednesday. So make sure to listen to that for my full, honest thoughts on Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff being fired. But I will, summarize some important things that I'll say in my podcast, I guess. I didn't see Thomas Dimitroff being fired, but it probably was the right decision. I personally thought Thomas Dimitroff wasn't that bad of a GM. I didn't say he was necessarily, a great GM, but I didn't think he was as bad as people said he was, made out to be. But I also will admit, I think it was time to fire him. He definitely did make some questionable decisions. Picking up 2 offensive linemen in the first round of 2019, okay, whatever. Picking up 1 offensive lineman, great. 2, you want to protect your quarterback, yes, but you want to help the defense as well. Picking up Calvin Ridley, yes, Matt Ryan needs help, but you need to help the defense. So, he's definitely made some questionable moves. I agreed with most of his moves. That's kind of crazy to say, but I honestly have. But I will admit, it is time to let him go. I will miss, thinking his name was Thomas Dimitroff. I used to, I kid you not, I always thought his name was Thomas Dimitroff. But anyway, I don't know what importance that has, but... And then for Dan Quinn, I'm not going to rant about Dan Quinn any longer. I think it's pretty safe to say I'm not a fan of Dan Quinn. Best of luck to Dan Quinn. He deserves the best. I mean, at least he, I think, tried. Because, he was never mean to anyone. He was always respectful to the media. He at least tried to, start some sort of brotherhood here. So... he deserves the best, but it's just, wow, it really was not working in Atlanta. It was definitely time to let him go. I thought that ever since they were fighting for him in the late season of 2019, to be honest with you. I was not high on Dan Quinn entering the season, and, here we are. Dan Quinn is fired. Finally, he packed his things out of my closet and went somewhere else, but anyway, I'll talk more about that in the podcast. But it is depressing to see these guys go. I will admit that. And then the last thing, if you didn't think the playoff race was over back then, are you gonna, I don't want to be negative Nancy here, but are you gonna say the playoff race is still on? No, I'm pretty sure the playoff race is over for the Atlanta Falcons at 0-5. I'm pretty confident we're not making the playoffs. It's just, I love the optimism. I respect it instead of complaining over and over like I am, admittedly. But, I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. But, to be honest with you, when your team is out of it. You know it. there's times where you think, oh my gosh, slow down. The team was off to a bad start. Sometimes you're proven right, sometimes you're proven wrong. And it's the same case with vice versa, where you know your team is out of it. But when the Falcons didn't recover the onside kick against the Dallas Cowboys, that's when I was like, yeah, it's definitely over. It's just, there's some moments for teams where you know it. Like, you know it's over. Like, when you don't recover such an obvious onside kick recovery, you're like, I'm pretty sure we're in for a long season. Yeah, we're definitely not going to have a winning season. We're probably going to be worse than we were last year. And heck, I hate to say it, but we're probably even going to finish last in the division. I respect all the Falcons fans that tried to keep their optimism high. I respect it. I'm not even saying you shouldn't have done that. You know, it's good to keep hope in your team. But playoff hopes are all but over. It's definitely time to just evaluate who's going to be here next year and just look forward to the future. It's really depressing to talk about these Falcons. But hang in there, Falcons fans. We'll get through this together. I promise. But those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure to check out my new Atlanta Falcons podcast, Dirty Bird Discussions. New episodes every Wednesday at 12 o'clock p.m. I go over an interesting Atlanta Falcons topic. Tomorrow, my full thoughts on Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff being fired. And then I go over mailbag questions. Yes, mailbag questions are back. You can find my podcast on SoundCloud, and I will find a way to put it on iTunes. I'm still trying to figure it out, but the link is in the description below. So make sure to check that out and let me know what you guys think. I would be so grateful if you guys simply just checked it out and let me know what you guys think. But I will see you guys with the video this Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. Love and appreciate you all for the support. As always, rise up.